Here's the scenario. You're an ambitious entrepreneur with a grand idea for a business. You've decided to incorporate because you understand the benefits outweigh the costs. All the groundwork has been done, you've chosen a name, filed your articles of organization, and are ready to establish the corporation of your dreams. You sit down in front of your computer and start filling out the necessary forms. Everything is going smoothly until you click on the endorsement section. What's this, you ask? The state wants to know who is going to endorse your corporation. Being that you're a regular person who doesn't typically mingle with the rich and influential, your dreams come to a screeching halt. Before you can file your corporation, you must go out and lobby for endorsements from powerful and wealthy individuals. Then you need to obtain a bill passed by legislators to legalize your corporation. Where would you start? Who would you contact that could put you in touch with someone who might endorse your corporation? Well, luckily today we don't actually have that obstacle when it comes to forming a corporation. It can take as little as 10 business days and no lobbying is required. However, in the 1800s, entrepreneurs had to contend with that obstacle, and it is one reason why corporations back then were very uncommon and rare. The formation of the Standard Oil Trust in 1882 marked a pivotal moment in American economic history. Established by John D. Rockefeller and his associates, the Standard Oil Trust was the first significant U.S. trust of its kind. Trusts were much easier to establish and were far less regulated than corporations. The Standard Oil Trust ultimately led to the popularization of trusts in the United States across various sectors. While trusts helped lead the U.S. economy into unprecedented economic growth and innovation, trusts also caused a massive consolidation of wealth and power. It didn't take long before entrepreneurs and consumers began experiencing market manipulation, stifled competition, and consumer exploitation. Under its trust structure, Standard Oil faced increasing scrutiny and legal challenges from various states and the federal government. In 1889, Standard Oil reorganized as a holding company to adapt to changing legal and business environments while maintaining control over its vast oil empire. The reorganization didn't hamper Standard Oil's profits. If anything, the reorganization made the company more efficient. By 1890, Standard Oil controlled about 90% of the U.S. refined oil market. Meanwhile, the Antitrust Act of 1890, commonly known as the Sherman Antitrust Act, was passed by the United States Congress. Antitrust laws were primarily enacted to safeguard fair competition and protect consumers from potential abuses of monopolistic power. In 1911, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil had violated the Sherman Antitrust Act and ordered its breakup into several smaller independent companies. The Clayton Act of 1914 provided more specific restrictions against anti-competitive conduct and established the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, to enforce antitrust laws and investigate unfair business practices. Despite the formation of the FTC, there was one corporation that was allowed to form a monopoly in the US, and that corporation was AT&T. AT&T was the largest company in the world for most of the 20th century. Unlike most corporations, AT&T was a regulated monopoly. The government allowed it to operate without competitors in return for a high-quality universal service. At its peak, AT&T controlled approximately 80% of the telecommunications industry in the United States. However, in 1982, the Justice Department and AT&T signed an agreement breaking up the AT&T monopoly by allowing long-distance competition and creating 7 regional phone companies dubbed the Baby Bells. According to the New York Times, no company so large and technologically integrated as the Bell system had ever split itself into pieces before, not even in the great trust-busting days. Today, we could be entering an era of an even larger company breakup. Amazon is facing a massive antitrust lawsuit from the FTC and 17 states. If you'd like to learn more about the Amazon antitrust lawsuit, you can check out this video. Even though Amazon only controls about 40% of the e-commerce retail market, they do have the biggest piece of the pie and are sitting on a market cap of over $1 trillion. One of the biggest debates around company breakups is whether or not prices would increase. Some people feel breaking up big corporations would make them less efficient, therefore more expensive. My question for you guys today is, would you rather have the cheapest items possible, or would you rather have more options to buy from but potentially pay more? Well, that's all for today's video. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.